Both the female and male characters would fall under the B, C1, and C2 socio-economic categories. Both are relatively young sixth form students, which is something which I aim for my target audience to be able to identify with. By doing so, I feel that in a way I have subverted the idea from my audience questionnaire of using a young child main character, as I felt as if the idea of using characters which the audience would be able to relate to would result in a much more petrified response. They are both presented in a positive light initially. They're well-dressed and presentable. Even during times of panic, the male protagonist refrains from using profanities, which further enforces the idea of a positive representation of the characters and the social group which they're representing. However, as the scene progresses, the representation of the female takes a massive turn. Although she is not 100% in control of her actions, as she is possessed, it is still insinuated that she murdered her boyfriend, but this should not connote negative ideas about the group she is representing. Having a relatively young couple challenges the conventions of some films within the horror genre, as the lead roles are not always adopted by such young characters. For example, the main character in The Woman in Black is of a much higher age, and the main characters followed in The Purge were an average family. The setting for my opening sequence is an averagely sized family home which the target audience will be able to identify with, thus allowing a greater connection to occur between the audience and the characters. The setting also presents the audience in a positive light. There are no triggers which would suggest they're particularly struggling or in a particularly rough area. By using a house, I also add to the idea of verisimilitude. It is not set on some alien planet, which would indicate that the events are not feasible and will be unidentifiable for the audience. By doing so, I am implementing some of the conventions of a horror film. The Paranormal Activity franchise and Insidious are both predominantly set in a house location.